So you want more accessories, more makeup slots? Look, dude, I keep seeing this question pop up, so we're going to address it real quick. So that way you understand why this question keeps popping up and why they keep giving the same response to it, okay? Please like and subscribe to the channel to help support the continued growth of great energy within the online sphere. So this question was in the headline, and this was in, I think, a previous headline too, or something similar, or they talked about this before in an interview or something, but could you allow more accessories and add more slots for makeup? Now, they give this response.
While the possibility has been considered, extensive testing has shown that further increases could potentially result in errors or freezes. Therefore, to prioritize the stability of the game environment, we have decided not to implement these changes at the present time. That was their answer.
This clearly states that they cannot do this. The way that they word it is mumbo-jumbo business mumbo-jumbo. Really what it is here, the easy answer is PS4. And I'm going to explain for those who do not understand. The easy answer here is PS4. The further answer is in general cross-play. So the reason why this is an issue and why this can cause breaks, or this can cause crashes and stuff like that, is because this is what you have when you have crossplay. Unfortunately, this is not an issue that is alone to NGS. This is literally for every crossplay. Every crossplay game takes some sort of hit. One system always takes some sort of hit to keep things up to speed. Unless they're on equal playing fields, which is not the case ever. You know, there's always at least something that's different. So this is what this is. And this is why also, you know, it can take a long time for games to come out on different systems, because they have to be optimized for that system. Listen to that word, optimize. They're being optimized to play on that system, whether that's a down or up, or they're changing because the CPU speed is different. So things have to be processed different. They have to load in differently. They have to render in differently. The pre-rendering, everything. So all these things are aspects of what has to happen when things are optimized for each console, for different consoles, right? So this is really what is happening here. So the reason why they say that they cannot do this, or why they're having issues with this and that things will crash, is because they are holding up the integrity for the player base. And that's why they use that, you know, they don't just pin one console or whatever, they say for the player base, because the player base includes the PS4, the Xbox, the PS5, and the PC. Now, if this was just a PC game, naturally we could have accessory slots galore, and we would. Then we would have makeup slots galore. We would, if this was a PC only game, correct? But it's not. It's a crossplay game. This is one of the downsides, one of the big downsides that come with crossplay games, in that there'll always be something that kind of holds things back from, you know, ever just like really just like booming and expanding, right? So a great example of this also, that's actually like really current and really relevant, is Valorant. So Valorant has, for those who don't know, well, you know what Valorant is, but for those who don't know, they have a console versions coming out for PlayStation and for Xbox for Valorant. So there was this big kind of like uproar in the Valorant community, unhappy individuals, because the PS5 has a gyroscope on it, how do you pronounce it, built into the controller. And this has been used in games before, and this would be very good to use because, you know, it can move with it for Valorant, for better aiming. However, Riot clearly stated that the reason why they did not implement that system into the games, to the console version, is because Xbox does not have one. So it would not be equal. It would not be, you know, fair. It would not be a level playing field. So neither of them get to experience it. Well, only the PS5 could experience it because only the PS5 has it. But the PS5 is not going to use that. So yeah, it would have made the play much better, but because Xbox doesn't have it, and you're trying to keep the integrity of both of those equal playing fields, they don't utilize it. So that's the same instance of what's happening to the accessory slots, to the makeup slots within NGS. So this is just for those who do not understand that aspect of things, as I understand that a lot of y'all aren't necessarily tech savvy, or you don't have backgrounds in hardware and IT and stuff like that. So this is me explaining these things to you from a standpoint that can help you to better understand it and why that's the case. And so you also notoriously see these in things like PSEs. For those who may not be familiar with this, I actually don't know if they fix this. It may be different now because remember they changed how PSEs are kind of in a tighter space now. I'm pretty sure it's the same way though. But in the past, if say you're in a PSE zone, say you're in deck space and you're doing PSEs, and there's a PS4 user that's in there, right? The mobs from the PSE burst will actually spawn slower. So you will actually end up killing less mobs in that amount of time because of the hardware differences. And this applies to just in all the consoles in general. I'm pretty sure it's still like this. Like it was like this for a long time. Pretty sure it's still like this. And correct me if I'm wrong, but either way, you'll probably still see this to some varying degree, but maybe just not as bad as it used to be. But say you're in a room with all PC players, the mobs will load much quicker. Like when things die, it's just constantly spawning because it's able to do that. It's not truncating itself, or it's not limiting itself because of its hardware, right? So even if you are on PC, that's not great. That's not a great PC. You're still on PC, so it still registers you as on PC. It's still, there's more capability there. So you'll see that in PSEs as well. So when there's like a PS4 user, the mobs will spawn much slower, and you'll notice it. You'll know. I'm pretty sure it's still a thing because I've seen it happen before. I'm pretty sure that was why. But this happens in general. Whether and this isn't just exclusive to the PS4. This is consoles in general. PC is always going to be the faster option, period, in every scenario. So just in general, it's consoles option. But that's why it's so difficult. That's why, for those who understand, because for a lot of people it just didn't make sense. They're like, why? Well, what were they using if the game was crashing? Like, what were they using? You have to understand that adding just 1 or 2 or 3 more accessory makeup slots, and then sure, you can just be like, well, people could just turn off the accessory slots. Stop saying dumb stuff. Stop saying dumb stuff, because ultimately, first and foremost, people should not have to turn off one of the main key things of the game. You want to see accessory slots, right? You want to see people with accessory slots and with makeup and stuff like that. People shouldn't have to turn that off. It's on by default. People shouldn't have to turn that off. It ruins the playing experience, which they're trying to keep, right? So that's just dumb. Because you have to understand that, sure, it's just 1 or 2 more or whatever, but you apply this to everyone in the lobby, in a full area, then naturally you can see how it can create issues, especially if they have like crazy accessories, which a lot of people tend to do, where there's just like all this idea, like this, a few things are more annoying than like when you're standing there and like someone comes and he's like he takes up the whole freaking space. Like he does, like he uses these accessories, these builds, or they use these accessories, these builds that like make their character model take up the whole space. That's problematic, and that can cause things to crash, right? So if you add these other accessory slots, these other makeup slots, more things like this are bound to happen, and more things like this are going to happen. More crashes are going to occur from these lower end softwares, lower end hardwares. So you have to take that into consideration. I understand why people will be frustrated by that, especially if you're on PC or whatnot. But as I always do, I look at things from the grand scope of things, and I always put myself in the other shoes. I always think of things it's not just about me. I understand that it's about the whole situation, the whole picture. And for those who do not think like that, do not understand that, this is me explaining it to you why it's like that. So regardless, you can be upset by it. Nothing's going to change by you being upset by it. But that's one of the drawbacks that crossplay has. It's a trade-off. You get more people to play with, and but you sometimes lose out on functionality, I guess, for everyone. So that's just how crossplay works in general. That's not exclusive to NGS. You can see that everywhere. So hopefully this helps. So be sure to like and subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Much love.
Spike content.